How many times throughout your day have you felt uncomfortable with a negative feeling towards money? Maybe it is the lack of it. Maybe you simply don't like it. But the truth is, if you are here to thrive with your business, you need to thrive with money first. And I'm not talking about money in the bank account only. So the question is, what do you need to heal about your relationship with money to attract more of it? Let's find out on this episode. You are listening to the Happy and Wealthy Bilingual Podcast, a place where we combine personal finance with powerful lessons to expand your money mindset so you can embody the wealthiest and happiest version of yourself. I'm your host, Alejandra Rojas, finance professional and money mindset expert, and here is your weekly episode to start shifting your reality. For the past 4 years, I've been dedicating myself to understanding on a deeper level what healing feels like when it comes to money. And in that process, I've seen it, I felt it, and I continue helping my clients through the same process. But I often hear the same limiting belief, especially in the spiritual field. And I'm all about spirituality, but this is very common on the spiritual field. Quote unquote, until you don't heal, you don't get to make money. And lady, that is simply not true. There is a perfect balance, and you absolutely can make and keep money on your corner as you go through your own healing. In the episode of last week, we talked about the steps you need to take if you want to crush your money goals before the end of the year. But there is a bigger picture here. What if you cannot take any of those steps because your body literally petrifies you when you think about bills, payments, pricing, charging more, making more money, or not making money, and all of those good things? This turns out to be the emotional layer of money, triggering your own money story and sometimes the trauma with money you may have. Trauma with money is so real. It's so freaking real. It is something that affects everybody. And this is why I've been embarking on the adventure of getting educated and informed on trauma and even certified on the trauma of money. And I can't wait to incorporate and share with you all the great knowledge that will come from it more and more as I go with you and my clients, of course. But in today's episode, we will talk about those 3 essential parts that need to be opened up and healed so that you can make and keep money as an entrepreneur. So if you're here to thrive and enjoy money as a female entrepreneur, you are in for a treat, because in today's episode, I will give you the permission slips you need to make money now while healing the 3 essential parts that you should be looking at to open up and really see what's in there so that you can see that flow of money coming over and over and over again. All right, let's dive in. And if you hear noise on the background, I'm so sorry. I've been postponing to do this episode because Mr. Mateo, the doggy, is in here and he's just running around. So, my bad. Okay, so let's dive into the first essential part or question. So the first thing that I want you to do is to answer this. What is the shame coming up when you think about money and your offers? Out of all of the feelings triggered by money, shame can be one on the top list. In fact, 4 out of 5 clients I work with have shame deep into their money stories, even when they cannot verbalize it just yet. And that has an explanation on the brain, but even when they cannot verbalize it, shame is deep rooted into their stories. By asking what is the shame that comes, you are opening up yourself to give yourself that answer that will be the indication of your money story waiting to be healed. Now, here's your permission slip. As Brené Brown says, and I love her, shame is the biggest indication of courage. And isn't it that what we all need in this entrepreneurial work? I mean, you are doing things you never imagined yourself doing before. And that alone takes so much courage. So I want you to take pen and paper and draw 3 columns. On the right column, I want you to write your offers. And next to it, I want you to write the answer to this question. What is the shame that comes up with this offer and money? And write something. Write the first thing that comes to your mind. Even if it feel silly. This is what you need to get out. And then on the third column, I want you to write the answer to this powerful question that I've heard in the trauma of money and have changed my life since. Whose shame is this? Once you have your offer, once you have the shame that comes up, on the third column, I want you to write, whose shame is this? Is it your family? Is it your mom, your dad, your caregiver? Is it your sister, your brother? Whose shame is it? Is it society? Is it the school? Shame is one of the most common money wounds for female entrepreneurs. And it often comes up when they are trying to take their business off the ground. And this is exactly why I'm going to work on this shame and other 6 other deep-rooted wounds with money in a secret circle to heal those 7 money wounds female entrepreneurs face in the first 3 years of business. And if you want to be part of this exclusive circle, go to alejandraart.com/circle because only 7 spots are available. We are going to make it very intimate, very secret, because we are going to heal those wounds. And shame is one of them. This exclusive circle was born because healing is one of the most difficult things to do with money. Even when it sounds so superficial nowadays, it is something that requires intimacy, requires openness, requires taking care of each other in a space where you can open up. I mean, I know this for a fact because in 2016, when I turned off the automatic pilot that I was in with my money, I found myself in a position where everything seemed to be more rational than healing. What the fuck was healing with money anyways? That was my first thought. Like, did I miss that class at uni? Like, what happened? The answer is no. I didn't miss it because there was never such a thing. But oh boy, how necessary is this healing to close those money wounds. A money wound is found in the emotional layer of money, and it can be traced back to early years of your life. In my case, a lot of shame and guilt came up every time I will open up my credit card statements to pay just enough to make space to make the next purchase. Shame and guilt will come up every single time. Well, consider this. Well, I was managing perfectly budgets of millions for a company as a finance manager. So I could manage those massive budgets, but I couldn't manage myself. I remember being at my apartment in Alexandria, Virginia back then, sitting with a glass of wine, looking to the horizon and thinking how stupid I was for not being able to be good at this that was my thing. I told you, money wounds can be traced back to the early ages. And the truth is that the way I was feeling back then in my apartment, it was not the first time that I had that discomfort. I also remember having it at uni, at high school, and even as early as when I was like 8 years old, when I saw how brilliant members of my family would be so good at what they did professionally, but when they arrived home, money was never enough. And they used to say, I manage so much money and I'm still so poor. As a joke, but they used to say it. But of course, my brain didn't capture the joke part. I was repeating the pattern based on that hurt because it does hurt you to see your family worried. It does hurt you to see yourself in a position where you don't know what to do, even though that you have been trained to do this. But in order to shift and level up your mindset, you need to heal and show your limbic brain, that part of your brain that manages the emotion with money, that today is different. So it is time that you write your columns. All right. Now, number 2, I want you to ask this question to yourself. If today I need to go and talk about what my services or products are, what are the first 3 hesitations that come to mind? And I love this. Oh my. I love this because this is something that we work inside of the IMM community, the Ignite Your Money Mind membership, where I give financial guidance and money mindset expertise to female entrepreneurs. Like I said on the episode before, talking about your offers is a key factor to end 2022 with money on your side, on your corner. But you simply won't do that if your subconscious or conscious is hesitant about it. Remember that when it comes to money and money behavior, 95% of your actions are led by your subconscious mind. And if there is hesitations, you most likely will avoid doing the thing. So you need to bring to awareness, what are the 3 first hesitations that come when thinking about your offers? And listen, don't get fooled by the idea that if there is a belief that is not 300% related or connected to money, it's not money related. It's not quite like that. As a female entrepreneur, everything is connected. You may think that those stories that are popping up into your head right now has nothing to do with money, when in fact are those stories, even the most silly ones, that has quote unquote nothing to do, the ones that are actually fucking everything up. It is really like that. So here's your permission slip to make money while healing those hesitations. Listen, whether you talk about your offers or not, those stories are present. So, you decide now. Do you want to open your doors to abundance by talking and offering your offers? Or would you rather let those stories lead the way? You have the power and you have homework to do. And now, number 3, the last question, key essential to heal. I want you to ask yourself, how do you grow up with money? And does it align with being an entrepreneur? This is massive. This is the gold on top of the gold. Here is your money making healing spot. Changing your narrative in your subconscious mind with money requires to understand, how did you grow up with money? This step is so important. And that is the reason why we have invested a solid 5 weeks inside of the Ignite Your Money Mind membership to discover what is this story. Like, what is in there that dates back to when you were growing up. But today, you can start opening up and understanding what's happening by asking yourself 3 simple questions that will lead you to identify and understand this essential part of your money story to be healed. Question number 1: what do your parents or caregivers said, spoken language about money or rich people? What are those things that you can remember they said with their words about money and rich people? And just write it down and see all those stories coming up to the surface. See what is it storage in your brain. Question number 2: how did your parents act? Or what can you recall seeing about your parents around money, rich people, or business ownership? Let me put you an example. Both of my parents have worked for themselves as an accountant. My dad has always had the same great clients, and although he works for himself, it seems to me more like an employee, not so much for a company. I mean, it's like a kind of a freelancer, consultant. It's not the type of business owner that I am, but still he works for himself. My mom, on the other hand, had more businesses in addition to that one, in addition to her being an accountant. Some of those businesses fell right off the bat, but others were successful for quite a bit of time and then fell. But both of them, my mom and my dad, always expressed how difficult is it to put and sustain a business. Having this example, having both of the examples, show me exactly what I had to heal and walk away from if I wanted to be the business owner that I want to be. And if I wanted this business to prosper. So it is time that you start really putting into your journal, into your notes, how they act and how you recall the events. Question number 3. What did your parents, caregiver, or family said as soon as you told them about your business idea? Were they excited or were they worried? What was their reaction? This question alone will open up the narratives to heal around your current situation and your current business. When you become aware of the behaviors that you are still repeating thanks to the reactions of your parents, caregivers, or family, you claim your power back. Just like Chelsea did when we were going through this exact same exercise. She decided to leave her career as a lawyer and become a spiritual business coach. Of course, Chelsea loves crystals, manifestation, and things that are not traditionally accepted for many people. And it was not different with her parents. There was a lot of disbelief and one may say judgment about her choices when it came to business and the ways to make income, quote unquote, those ways to make income. That pressure followed Chelsea's subconscious mind thanks to those wounds that were created when she was growing up. And after a divorce, a financial mess in her previous business, Chelsea finally got to put the necessary financial boundaries after healing so that her flow of money was not compromised anymore. Journal the narrative and stories coming up, please. Write it down somewhere and start making the connections keeping you limited with money. And take it at a step beyond. Come and share with me what you found on Instagram. I'm at Money Mindset Expert. And I know Thanksgiving and gratitude is on the air. And there is a lot of misconceptions about gratitude and your ability to have money and keep money on your side. So let's talk about it on the next episode. Okay, before I let you go, do you know that we have an all-in-one financial guidance and money mindset expertise community for female entrepreneurs who want to live abundantly just like you? Learn more about it at alejandrar.com/membership. Ahora sí, wealthy you, thank you for listening until the end of this episode. And if you like this episode, take a screenshot and tag me on Instagram at Money Mindset Expert so I can share a little gift your way.